Hi everybody, today we had a great game between Anish, Giri and Aryan, Tari playing Chessable Masters knockout phase. First game, Aryan Tari had white pieces. He starts with Anish Giri had white pieces. He starts with d4, knight to f6, knight to f3, g6, knight to d2, d5. We have a b3, a5 from Aryan and a4. Bishop to g7, some unusual opening. Bishop to b2, castle kingside, and we have e3. Bishop to f5, bishop to e2, knight to e4. He captured that knight, he recaptured with a bishop, and we have a castle kingside from Anish. c5, trying to break open the center, and we have c3, c takes d, e takes d, and knight to c6 from Tari. We have bishop to a3 and queen to c7 with the idea to connecting the rooks. It's always good to do. We have bishop to d3 and bishop takes f3, knight, queen takes f3, and we now have rook to d8, rook to c1, and e5. D takes e5, knight takes d5, and he removed queen to the g3, so now he cannot recapture this bishop because this queen is pinned. So that's why he played queen to b6, and we have bishop to b5, knight to c6, rook d1, and knight to a7. Better was in this position simply bishop to h6 and after rook b1 d4, but we don't have that. We have a knight to a7 and bishop to e7, a rook to c8, and we have a rook takes d5. Maybe better was simply play bishop d7 after rook c7, now takes d5, queen takes d3, queen takes c, queen takes d5, and c4. But we don't have any of this. Instead of that, we have rook takes d5, slightly increase his position, and now knight takes that bishop. He retook with the rook, and queen to e6, attacking that bishop. He retreats to c5, c6. He tried to exchange queens. He refused that with queen d7, g3, and we have h5. Not a good move from Aryan. The better move in this position is simply rook to e8, attacking the queen, and when queens move to f3, the game is slightly better for white, but only 1 point occurring to engine. We don't have this. We have h5 and h4. Also not the best move. He didn't find the best continuation. Instead of that, he played move h5, which isn't bad boot, but decrease his potential, decrease his position. The best continuation in this was simply to trade the queens because you are better on the board, and after this trade you are better because you have you are pawn ahead and closer to the win in that endgame. So he played h4 instead of that, trading queens, and rook from a to c8. Maybe put pressure on this bishop later on, and this pawn. So black response with c4. King h7, not a good move. He tried to win on tactics by putting bishop on h3 and win with that fork, but Anish saw that and play queen to f1. That isn't the best continuation. The best was again to forcing that black to exchange the queens, and after queen exchange the white side is winning, but we don't have that. We have rook to f1 and rook to b8. Terrible move by Aryan. I cannot explain why it's play this move. I don't know, maybe he was in time pressure, but really bad move. And Anish immediately go to that e7 square and exchange the queens. After this exchange, rook a5, and now he is 2 pawns ahead. We now have bishop to c3, attack that rook. He immediately remove from the threat, and e8 from Aryan. Now with bishop a3 he close that a file. Bishop to a5, king to g2, improving position, and we have bishop to b8, rook to c1, rook to e6, rook to c2, f5, rook to d2, trying to exchange the rook, but he refused, and we have rook to d8, and in this position Aryan played a brilliant move and win the game. This move is so sharp. You can pause the video and try to find that killer move if you want. And that killer move is simply play rook takes this bishop on e5, and after you recapture with the rook, then you play bishop to d4, and this rook can move because you have back rank mating threats, so you must give this a rook. After this move, bishop to d4, after this killer move, young Tarian resigned because he see that he's lost this game. He could continue like this, and after bishop takes, rook takes, king to d7 check, king to g8, you have three connecting passed pawns. You have rook on the 8th rank, and this king is captured on 8th ring, and there is nothing black can do in this position. With the correct play, this is so free win. So later today Anish win another game, and he had one draw, and he go to the next round. I will also inform you from this tournament today. Also have a great game. See you later.